There is a lot of love when it comes to football in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it was the guy was acting like an asshole. That's why they threw snowballs at him. It wasn't because he was Santa Claus. They're making another Indiana Jones too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
He's going to be in a wheelchair going.
And then you know what sucks about that is
search for the golden hip.
Hollywood, can we please come up with some fresh material? Prince, man. He's a shit, dude. And a grade A cocksmith. Like, grade A. Stick around, cause I am coming back. And I know someday I'm gonna make it big.
Talk about shit we talk about anyway. Just
seriously.
That's the plan. That's the dream.
Wouldn't it be great to get paid for this?
All right, let's get to the show. Welcome to this week's edition to the Nick, John, and Jamie Show. I am joined by my partners in crime, Nick and Jamie. What are we talking about this week, fellas?
Super Bowl, obviously, and
Super Bowl. There was a game on?
there was something, you know.
We had the Super Bowl happen where our the locals were celebrating.
We took it home.
You guys did take it home.
Yeah.
Tell you what, it was something else. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Jamie and Nick are diehard Eagles fans. But Steelers didn't make it, so I adopted the city of brotherly love, and the underdogs really took it to the Pats.
To the evil empire, actually.
To the evil empire.
Yeah, 36 years of heartbreak. Finally.
So you guys are jazzed.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Jamie, you're going to the parade.
Dude, I want to kiss that ring, man.
Don't kiss that trophy, man. If you get close to that trophy, that thing needs some Purell.
Yeah, did you hear they're giving Dorenbos a ring?
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool,
should, man.
Jeffrey Lurie flew him in for the game and everything after everything that happened.
Yeah.
You know, he got traded to the Saints, and then they did a physical, and they found
heart defect, right?
Heart defect. And then the Eagles said, we'll just take him back. And then after everything that happened this year, the Eagles, they brought him to the game, and now they're going to give him a ring. It's awesome.
That team's always been like a family. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even...
Open your heart.
Yeah, well, look
Jeffrey Lurie.
But look at like all the previous players that like gave their heart to the city, like Dawkins.
Is he getting a ring?
No, he's going to Hall of Fame. But he is going to get a ring because he's a coach. He's a coach.
Yeah, but he's like he comes here and he's like the Pope.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like Weapon X.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Tell me he wasn't your favorite player, being an X-Man Wolverine lover.
I have the artwork that they gave out at one of the games framed up. It's a Marvel piece of artwork with Weapon X with like Wolverine claws.
Really?
Yeah, it's legit, dude. Legit.
I remember the one game, I think it was against Atlanta. Was it against Atlanta in the playoffs where he came flying in the air and like it was on a time blitz, but it was a run blitz, and he just like looked like
championship game?
Yeah. Well,
04.
He came flying in the air and looked like Wolverine coming in midair, but with no claws.
That's when beer was freezing.
It was just awesome.
That guy, that's one of many though that, you know, they have like a serious, like if you look at like Bradley Cooper, like screaming and you know what I mean, and carrying on. It's
Kevin Hart doing his
Kevin
dance.
Hart. Yeah, but Kevin Hart had like a need to get on the stage, which is kind of weird.
I caught that when it was happening.
It's kind of odd though. Like I think it's because he was loaded.
Who knows?
You know what I mean?
I mean, he's passionate. I dig Kevin Hart in a big way, man.
Oh, he's funny as hell.
Not as much as I dig Charlize Theron, but I do dig
him. Eagles fan?
I
hope so. She's even better in my book.
Yeah, Mike Trout.
Oh, he's there every game. I think he has more game balls than any guy ever in Philadelphia. Every time they scored a touchdown this year, you saw Wentz running over to give him a ball. Zach Ertz giving him a ball. They're all like buddies.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So the fever, I mean, there is a lot of love when it comes to football in Philadelphia.
Oh, absolutely.
So I heard that it was just a sea of people out on Broad Street
Yeah,
of course.
burning that shit to the ground.
But they were pretty good, man. I mean,
For the most part.
yeah.
Considering Philadelphia, yeah, it was pretty good.
Exactly. Considering there was no snowballs to be thrown with.
I mean, I was out.
Sea
don't
batteries.
even go
Dredging
there.
up old water there.
You know what?
What's wrong with you?
I'm so tired of the Santa Claus thing. I'm just done, man. There's
Yeah, that was
people-
in like the late 60s or something.
Yeah,
too.
the guy was acting like an asshole. That's why they threw snowballs at him. It wasn't because he was Santa Claus.
Listen, we're not saints here. But
Yeah,
come on.
believe me, I brought that up because I thought it's like the easy one. It's the one that's right in everybody's hip pocket, and it's passion. That's what it is. It's passion and a lot of beer and stupid behavior that causes those headlines. But I mean, to be honest, I mean, there is no fan like a Philly fan.
Oh, no. And then if you think about it, like, even when the Eagles sucked, that stadium's always full.
Yeah, when they did
Even back in the 70s, when they sucked real bad,
Yeah,
stadium was full. Now, I remember when I was a kid, we're talking pre-Bledsoe days, I remember those Pat Stadium being empty.
and they had
I could probably hear myself talk.
And they had. You remember the old blackout rule? Like if you didn't fill up the stadium,
Yeah.
they would black it. The Pats. They were talking about this earlier. They had a lot of games blacked out before.
that's disgraceful.
And then now they're all like the team. I
Well,
mean, I can't
they were
stand it.
always, and I can't say anything about that. They were always a big baseball, hockey town. That was always
and
and basketball.
Yeah,
But football was like they could give a shit until like I'd say around like the Parcells, Bledsoe years.
yeah.
No, it really started taking over. I would say around the third Super Bowl they won. The first two when they beat us.
Yeah, but I mean, my brother is a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Oh God!
My older
What
brother.
is wrong with your brother, dude?
I don't know. There's
grew
so
up
much I
around
love
here,
about
right?
my brother, but then there's some things where I'm like, where did he come from? But I love he's the real deal. Like he's been a Dallas fan since he was a tyke, But he was like, and he said this. He goes, you know what? I was a fan when they had 2 wins under the belt for a season, and that's a fan. You're not bandwagon. You're not fair weather. You're there. You're there. You're filling up the stands. You're there when there's
Watching
terrible.
every week,
Yeah, that's
even
a fan.
if they suck.
Yeah.
Stupid Chip Kelly era.
Yeah, that's what a couple Pats fans that I know were like, busting my balls or whatnot, and I go, just do me one favor, man. Name a player
Outside Brady.
outside of Bledsoe. Before I'm talking pre-Bledsoe years.
Yeah.
Name one player.
Yeah.
Crickets. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, before we dive too far down that, you might think you're on sports talk radio, but the reason that, obviously the locale, we're in the Philadelphia suburbs, but the excitement around the Super Bowl, especially being in this area, was at a fever pitch. And but the one thing that we teased, in last week's episode, and the thing that I was on the hunt for because our team was no longer in the hunt. My team was no longer in the hunt. Were the Super Bowl commercials, specifically around the Marvel movies that are coming out, some of the sci-fi flicks that are coming out, all the geek-tastic, joyous entertainment that we have in the
The flood of J.J. Abrams.
He is prolific, man.
Lighten it up.
JJ's everywhere.
He has his fingerprints on everything anymore.
It's
That's
the truth.
right, man.
Well, his production company is just like Bad Robot. You could see that all over.
He'll
the place.
finish some of these. I have a feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, please. No, don't lost me.
Jamie or JJ. I'm not finished.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. Help me climax here, please.
So I'm just going to get right to the point. I was looking for Solo. Nick, you told me about, you sniffed it out on the internet. You said it's probably going to hit on this, come Super Bowl, because they wrapped it and they held on to that trailer for a good bit. And Ron Howard, he was he had that YouTube commercial, a YouTube video where he's like, it's a wrap, and he flips over the sign. And he says, and we're calling it Solo. And I was like, okay, I'm on board.
Well, they couldn't call it anything else. If they actually tried to give it a different name.
Well, the funny thing was that there's that joke in Force Unleashed, or I keep doing that, Force Awakens, to where it's like, he's like, what did you call me? When
Solo,
John
yeah.
Boyega's character keeps calling him Solo. So Yeah, and I was not disappointed. And I have a bias, right? I have a love affair with this franchise ever since I was a kid. The 7-year-old in me that still gets stoked when you see any of these properties come to life. And the fact that they dove right into it and were like, you got Lando, you got Chewie, you got his first pristine Millennium Falcon.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was getting at earlier.
Yeah.
It just looks like it's was just built. I mean, you know how every time there's the movie, there's they're always trying to fix something. It's always broken.
What a piece of junk!
Yeah, right. You're gonna get out of here. You're gonna fly to that thing. You're crazier than I thought.
But the other thing, and I don't know if I caught this correctly or not, but it looks like he's enlisting in the Imperial Army.
Yeah, but then he dropped out or something, got kicked out or something like that.
I don't know. I haven't read much about it, but I just rewatched the trailer and I was like, it looks like he's signing up for the Imperial Army.
Well,
that is cool. I thought it was clever.
But he had to learn how to fly somewhere. I mean, you just don't grow up and
unless you're John Boyega, because apparently he needed a pilot.
Or Luke Skywalker.
well, he was always good at womp rats. What's
Anakin.
The joke I was making, and it's some meme online. I saw it on Twitter, which was it was a Force Awakens where he's like, you need a pilot, and he's basically getting Poe Dameron out. He's like, yeah, I need a pilot because he doesn't know how to fly, but then miraculously he's able to fly that skimmer on the salt planet.
2 days later.
2 days later, exactly. And he was in a coma the whole time, so he didn't learn it.
Yeah. Well, maybe they put it, It's like Ray learning the Force in 2 days. It works.
Yeah, It's called a suspension of disbelief. So that was one I was looking for. How about you guys? What sort of stoked the fire in that geeky little place in your brain?
Infinity Wars.
Ooh. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Thanos. And then how you brought up, John picked this out with his eagle eye, but the 3 marks on his head.
Oh, yeah. He's got those claw marks on his face.
It will be awesome. I'm not lying to you. I would love it if Wolverine does make an entrance, but Disney just got him. I can't see how they could fit that in.
It'd be a little forced.
Was he, you guys are in the comic books, was he in the Infinity Wars Wolverine?
Yeah.
Were they all
turned his adamantium bones into rubber.
Oh, really? He did.
Yeah.
Thanos did.
Yeah, because he was all powerful. He was taking on.
That's still what I don't understand. It's not to dive into this too much, but I didn't read the comic books. If he has one Infinity Stone, you could do ridiculous things. If he has all 5, how would they even stand a chance? Seriously,
they're not gonna. I mean, the premise is there. I find it hard to believe if they introduced everybody in the Infinity Wars. I mean. They had Death was basically his girlfriend, and they had the Eternals and all these astral, these godlike beings that he just had command over reality.
That's what I mean. How would you beat that? I don't care if you have these Infinity Stones. If you have one of them, the Reality Stone can bend reality. If you have the time, you can stop time, rewind time. I mean, it's just, and then you have the Power Stone. It's just, when you put them all together, how could you even? He's a god. He's omnipotent.
George Michael said, "Gotta have faith."
I guess so. I guess you'd have to go that way. But wait and watch the movie. I guess I'm excited, but it's just something I always thought about.
Well, and the reason I did notice that, Jamie, is because I'm a spaz, and I was going because they do the cuts so fast.
Dude, you had to pause that
every cut,
times.
Dude.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
Well, it's called lunch. It's called my lunch hour, is what it's called.
John has too much time.
Right. Yeah, seriously,
I do. I'll duck away, and especially since we started the podcast. People will be like, "Hey, you want to grab a bite to eat? I got something going," and then poof, I sneak away. It's
he spends hours in the bathroom.
What are you doing there? I'm working on my podcast. Oh, so that's what they're calling it, working on your podcast. I got to call HR. No, but definitely it's 1 and 2. It's Solo for me was the first big hit, and then Infinity War for sure. They got the man. It's just I'm stoked. I'm really excited.
That Cloverfield too on Netflix.
Yeah, I don't see. Did you watch the Cloverfield series?
I did. I watched the movie.
There's the first one, right?
There's two of them, isn't there?
Those are two. Then I only seen.
Isn't there one?
I thought there was three.
There might be three. Isn't there one with the guy from Roseanne? What the hell's his name?
Oh, John Goodman.
He's in the one.
Cloverfield Way.
Yeah, something like that. They're all. I haven't watched any of them, so I don't even know.
To your point, that's an Abrams joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the big to do when that came out.
Yeah, and I heard mixed. I heard that and this is why I didn't see it when it came out, is that the cameras, like the shaky cam type of thing, everything coming from a handheld device or
It's Blair Witched.
Yeah, Blair Witch.
Is that the first one?
That's perfect.
The first one you're talking about? Yeah, I didn't like that whole thing. I never liked Blair Witch, so I would.
Blair Witch was cool because it was like low budget, and that like fed into like what they were trying to do. Like that made sense because it was like it's real, but it's not real kind of deal. I like that.
Yeah, what did it cost?
Yeah, that was.
What did it cost? Like $30,000 to make that
cool
movie or something like that.
But it was different how they did that, and that's what made it cool. Now Cloverfield.
That was Cindy and I's first date.
Oh no shit!
Yeah.
What, Blair Witch?
Blair Witch.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Then she said she was impressed because we went out with her sister, and her sister had a bunch of friends with her too, and I leaned over and paid for and gave her money for me and Cindy to her sister because her sister prepaid for all the tickets. And she was like, yeah, I thought that was really classy. And I was like, well, that's what you're supposed to do. Anyway, sorry. Blair
You're
Witch.
such a sweetheart.
I'm a hell of a guy.
A little ego stroking there.
We're stroking a lot today.
Apparently.
So, yeah, but you know what? I'm not, because I wasn't invested, I'm not going out of my way to watch
things
it.
I'll probably just like catch on the, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna get losted. I'm not gonna get jacked off, and then I'm not gonna have him pull his hand away. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'll watch it with like a grain of salt. One of those deals.
I get the feeling you really like Abrams, but you have this hard on. Well,
no,
I guess.
No, because Lost, man.
I'm seeing
Lost was a bummer, dude.
Lost was a bummer, but
that was a bummer. It was like the only other one I can think of that was like a bummer like that would be like The Sopranos.
How it ended, yeah, but we already
like when it went blank screen, like what the fuck?
Yeah. But Lost, I think they didn't. There was only supposed to be a miniseries. They didn't expect it to get the fanfare it did. So then they rushed to production for a second season, a third season, and I don't think they ever intended it to be what it was.
Yeah, they didn't. They absolutely. I mean, J.J. Abrams has just about admitted that. They were like, wow,
and
holy shit!
And he was a young director at the time.
Yeah,
and so he didn't have the weight he does now, where he could probably say, wisdom, right? Where he could say now, like, I don't want to finish this. I like it. He was just. They came back at him and said, do another season. He's like, really?
Yeah,
get all hyped up. I'll do it. Sure.
Well, he did Alias before that.
Loved Alias.
Yeah.
I love Jennifer Garner.
That's who it was, Jennifer Garner.
So Bradley Cooper was in that before he
was
became.
He really? That's right.
He was her best friend.
That's right.
Before he became super famous.
You know what? I was thinking about like him in a superhero movie, and I was like, he already did a superhero movie that he did Limitless.
Oh, such a good. You ever watch that?
Jamie? I like that movie a lot.
Oh, I love that at the end where he's like, if I want to make you my bitch, I will. I don't know how to line.
Yeah, it was awesome. Robert De Niro.
Oh, I know. It's so good. I didn't like the show too much. Tried watching the show.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get into it.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was hitting home with anybody.
No. Was there a Deadpool?
So I wanted to touch on that.
Okay.
There was no Deadpool trailer.
You sent out a tweet thing?
So
I read some of
it.
But
he tweeted if there was a Deadpool, I don't know if it was Ryan Reynolds or not, but tweeted throughout the Super Bowl. And so he was just getting filthier and filthier with every tweet, and it was pretty clever, pretty entertaining. I don't know if it hit home because everybody was watching the Super Bowl, nobody was looking for Deadpool tweets, but I think it's going to catch some steam as people catch up with it.
Because I'm pumped up about that.
When does Deadpool come out?
Sometime in the summer, right?
Yeah, I want to say
No, it's
Yeah,
this year. It's this year.
I'm not sure what the release date is. Skyscraper?
That kind of looks like the Die Hard movie to me.
Yep.
It's like the original Die Hard and Nakatomi Towers or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be like some super building.
Well, I'm not opposed to Die Hard though.
I love Die Hard.
Yeah, but Die Hard, it's some just you can leave it alone. It's okay.
Yeah, that's you're right.
I'm
you're
sorry.
Right. It's like remaking Ghostbusters. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Die Hard.
Speaking of which, if they ever remake Back to the Future, I think that's it for me.
You're gonna stop watching movies.
It's just like I'm done. What are you doing?
Die Hard is my all-time favorite action movie. I swear to God, I don't think the original.
It's pretty
I just never had an action movie like can compete with that.
Yeah.
Straight up action,
It's
not
amazing.
sci-fi. I'm just talking about
that
straight
whole
up.
era was good. I mean, I even like the old Van Damme movies.
Double Impact.
Well, it's just like that. It was that whole like era, like that.
It's the action hero era. It started with Stallone and Schwarzenegger, right?
Yep.
And then Bruce Willis got in it. Well, now they're all doing Expendables movies, right? So,
Yeah, well, and then Van Damme's got that one show where he plays like Van Damme. It's on Amazon.
is it any good?
I heard it was good. I heard like a couple things about it. It's like he's and don't quote me on this, but he's Van Damme playing Van Damme.
What?
So it's like it's weird. It's
a little meta.
Yeah, it's a little meta.
Yeah, I don't know this, but I heard he still doesn't know that he's not as famous as he used to be. Like in real life.
He's Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a wife beater, isn't he?
Well, Steven Seagal's many other
Allegedly.
things too. Yeah.
Allegedly,
Yeah,
yeah.
allegedly.
We don't want to put it out there.
Yeah.
He is a tool shed, and that's not allegedly.
Well, he's a sheriff or something like that.
Dude, he's a
Is
fucking.
he really a sheriff?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
he do a movie that he was a sheriff?
He's a sheriff,
he's
and
a
he's got
total
that
tool bag.
bad piece, man, or whatever that is going on, where his forehead actually got smaller.
Dude looks like a tool bag.
Yeah, he's
only done one good movie I ever liked, and that was The Under Siege.
well. I
was
liked,
it.
yeah.
Now, what's the movie-
Well, that was Tommy Lee Jones in that.
Yeah, but what's the movie where
What's her
where
face came out with it?
Well, what was the movie where he smacked the guy with the cue ball in a sock?
Yes.
Oh, wait, that was Hard to Kill.
I'm not saying his movies weren't good. I'm just
Hard to
saying
Kill.
him.
Somebody got to tell me about Jimmy.
Yeah.
All right, no more impersonations. They only get worse from there.
All right, well, what other movies were Jurassic?
So-
the new Jurassic.
Yes, new Jurassic Park. Go ahead. What did you think?
I'm not really into it. I loved the first Jurassic Park. Loved it. After that, I kind of went downhill with it. I mean, like you said earlier, Jamie, you said, how many times can you blow up this island or whatever? What are you going to do? You know what I mean?
I like Jeff Goldblum in the Fly. I'll leave that on the table.
Jeff Goldblum.
Well, Independence Day. He was good in Independence.
No, he was good in Jurassic Park. The first one.
The first one.
I loved him in Jurassic Park, and you know what? They had the Jurassic Park trailer for the new movie. What's it called? It's called. I had it written down somewhere. Anyway, for the new Jurassic Park movie, and I've actually liked the Jeep advertisement with it was Jurassic Park theme better than the trailer.
Yeah, but wrap your head around that. Now he's selling Jeeps.
Yeah.
Okay, wrap your head around that. All right, you know what I mean? Like, we went from making a Jurassic Park movie, and now he's selling Jeeps.
Well, he was just in Thor Ragnarok.
I
He's
guess.
not hurting for gas.
No, I know he's not hurting for cash, but it's just like,
I think, you know what? And this is only a theory of mine. I think that you're seeing more and more A-lister type celebrities, or used to be A-listers, doing a lot of commercial work because the industry and entertainment is so saturated, and they have to change the revenue model with how they're paying
well,
actors.
so skewed.
Matthew
They can't-
McConaughey did it last year with, was it Infinity or what was that? one?
Buick, I think.
It was a Buick where he did that whole
It
commercial.
was Lincoln.
Lincoln. It was Lincoln, yeah. So, I mean, they're all doing it now.
It doesn't matter.
I think it was Lincoln. I don't know. Whatever. Well, anyway, how about the sheriff from Stranger Things doing the Tide commercials?
Yes,
They were
Sheriff.
legit.
Yes,
They were good.
real quick, isn't he supposed to be the next Hellboy?
yeah, David Harbour.
He's supposed to be. I
Yeah.
think he'll be pretty good. I
Chief
like him.
Hopper.
Yeah, Chief Hopper.
Yeah, he was great. I'll tell you what, that was my favorite commercial. the Tide commercials.
Yeah, that Lindsey Vaughn commercial got me all pumped up.
Which one was?
Well,
the
that was
Lindsey
like
Vonn
one of the Olympic ones. It got me all amped up.
Oh.
I thought I could like go out of the house and run a couple miles.
Mm-hmm.
Love Lindsey Vaughn now.
Yeah, Lindsey Vaughn.
Olympics, that's another
pretty,
thing.
pretty
Olympics.
stoked about it. And the other thing we were talking about, what was it? My son was just in here, just distracted the hell out of me. Totally broke my train of thought. But anyway, the Red Sparrow.
Okay.
I didn't see the trailer. Did I? Did we see the
So
trailer?
you have seen the trailer, and it is in the Last Avengers movie, and it's when Black Widow has that flashback scene when she was being taught to be a killer.
Is this based off of that, or is it just?
I'm being sarcastic because
gotcha.
it just seems like that Red Sparrow movie is Black Widow's origin story. It's not.
It's not because it's not Marvel and it's not Disney, probably. But yeah,
But
I get what you're saying.
It seems like that.
Yeah.
But it looks good. I mean, it looks like it's going to be entertaining, but it's probably not going to make the cut as far as like what I go out of my way to see over the summer. Mission Impossible, Fallout. I'll tell you, man. It's the best part. The thing that I don't like most about this next Mission Impossible movie, and Jamie, you said this earlier, man. You were like, they're like James Bond movies. And I'm like, yeah, all right. I can get behind that. I mean, I saw last James Bond movie I saw was Skyfall. I thought that was awesome.
I still haven't seen that one.
It's good.
And I love James Bond.
But these movies, when they get great direction, good talent in there, all that stuff in this trailer wrapped around Tom Cruise, who I think is the turd in this whole production.
I mean,
I like him in it.
I don't
though.
think he's that bad.
I like Tom Cruise.
I think
but
it's weird how he doesn't fucking age. That's odd. That's really odd.
It's at Scientology, like you were saying earlier. He cracks open the skulls of
He's got
young Scientologists.
blood transfusions from virgins.
They're doing something in that whatever building they got going on there.
They're going clear.
But you're right. He doesn't age, but he's also, like I said earlier, he's just a little weird, man. He's
a one. To me,
he's been like in the
one
spotlight
note.
for 30 years, probably surrounded by yes people his whole damn life.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like him. Top Gun. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave that one on the table as well. Top Gun, dude. He's all right with me.
Yeah, but
He can be as weird as he wants.
you wanted to be a pilot when you were younger, didn't you?
Dude, that movie is also legit.
they're remaking it, aren't? Or not? Or they're doing another sequel.
Are you kidding me?
No. They're talking about doing a Top Gun 2.
That's right.
I don't know how
Can
true
we?
that is.
Hey, Hollywood, can we please come up with some fresh material?
Netflix is taking all that loot and coming up with the fresh material.
Seriously,
They're not consulting Hollywood. Apparently.
Hollywood doesn't have any fresh material. That's why Disney bought Lucasfilms to do Star Wars, and they're doing all kinds of different Marvel stuff. There's no fresh material. The only fresh material is like on Netflix or HBO or Game of Thrones, or Punisher. But it's still that's Marvel.
Yeah, but that's something you can like remake. You know what I mean? It's like Bond. It's like an ongoing thing. But like when you remake stuff like or bring it back when it doesn't need to be brought back, like Indiana Jones or Ghostbusters. You know what I mean? Like
They're making another Indiana Jones too.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
He's going to be in a wheelchair going.
And then you know what sucks about that
The
is
search for the,
You know,
the
it's like-
golden hip.
well, you know what sucks about that? The idiot in me is going to be like, well, I'm still going to watch it. So either way, I'm going to watch it.
Well,
we're part to blame then because we all will still
Yeah,
watch.
you're
I'll
right.
watch the Indiana Jones movie because it's Indiana Jones.
It just makes me mad because it's something that it's a waste of time. Like you could be making something else that's different,
Yeah,
fresh.
yeah. I mean, so Nick, you hit it right on the head. It's complaining about the price of parking at the stadium going up to $25, and now you're paying
40 now.
$40, right? So
Probably be
going
50
to
next year because we won the Super Bowl.
going to see a ball game might cost you $300, right? But if you're paying for it,
Yeah, they're gonna keep.
they're going to keep going.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just. But the one movie you got, Ready Player One, that looks interesting. That looks like a new version of Tron, but it looks like it looks interesting.
It does. It does look. I mean, I'm excited about it.
It wasn't a commercial, but yeah.
Yeah, Spielberg's got his name attached to it. He's talking about it really enthusiastically, and I saw a couple interviews where he was really, you had this writer who was such a Spielberg fan, like I mean, just a total fanboy.
So you think he wrote the
book
with Spielberg in mind?
Well, with he said it was about his almost paying homage to his childhood, right? These are the things that shaped what his appreciations were growing up, and a lot of it was the Spielberg world, right? So that's where it kind of interweaves with.
Now, I believe, I don't know about you guys, I just want to ask you this question. I believe he's the greatest director I've ever seen. Like, because he could do all genres. I mean, I don't think he's ever done a comedy, but I don't care about that. He could do sci-fi.
I'm going to say Ron Howard's up there, too.
He's up there, but I'm talking about the greatest director. If I'm going to rank number one for me, if we were doing a director I would say it's Spielberg for me,
Yeah, I mean, he's got a huge impact. And you're right. Just when people were knocking him for being too Spielbergy in all his movies, if you look at the E.T.'s, Close Encounters,
Saving Private Ryan, come on. I mean,
but that's where he started to shift gears, right? Schindler's List, Color Purple, Saving Private Ryan.
That's what I mean. He could do it all.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just not wondering us with his sci-fi genre. He comes out with these movies that really have meaning and heart behind it, and you're just blown away. I mean, the first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan is probably, in my mind, one of the greatest scenes of movies you'll ever see. And I'm a sci-fi person first, but that was just fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, and he's very much. You see all these interviews, and he's very much like a kid.
I know.
It's like he won. He won the lottery.
Because he does what he like. I mean, how many times we talk about
he gets to play for a living,
getting paid to do this? Like hypothetically, someday we do. That would be awesome. He's doing it. It's like the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. These guys playing a game, and they're getting paid millions of dollars to do it.
Yeah,
and then they win the championship. It's like, how could you?
It's a lottery, man.
Yeah,
it's totally a lottery.
It is the lottery.
So, Mission Impossible. It's probably going to be a straight to video thing for me. Not straight to video, but I probably won't catch it.
I'm with you on
theater.
that. But I'm still going to watch it.
Yeah, me too. But you mentioned, we were talking about this earlier, there was a commercial for Castle Rock.
Yep.
It's basically the Stephen King verse done in a series format on Netflix. Idea seems really compelling.
With J.J. Abrams.
What is the idea? I didn't see that.
Is it?
Yeah, I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, but I mean, if it is, great, right? But that's kind of unusual. I wouldn't see J.J. Abrams falling into that genre, right? Because if you think about Spielberg,
flooding the market.
Yeah, he's all over. But I guess it's just good storytelling. He's a fan of good storytelling.
So what's it about?
I don't know very much about it. I just know that I've heard that it's like a collection of ideas and stories from the mind of Stephen King, and it's shot in. I could be wrong. I think it's like a Tales from the Crypt type of thing. Mm-hmm. But in Castle Rock's,
J.J. Abrams, Stephen King.
Oh, there you go.
That's very unique to see those two together.
Yeah. What was your first King movie? Or book?
I'm going to go with movies because I wasn't much on books when I was a kid.
Unless they had the pictures.
Yeah, unless they had comics. Yeah, I'm a dope. So, dude. I'm going to have to say, man, I guess like E.T. or something like that, I guess.
For King?
No, Stephen King. I thought you meant. I thought
Not
we were still on Spielberg. Stephen King is probably it. I think
it was for me. Yeah,
I think it was it.
Hated
Pennywise the Clown, man.
Yeah. I heard it came out. It's a to-be continued, but I heard it was phenomenal. I still haven't seen it yet.
Boys want to see it.
Aiden,
like you're out of your mind.
Aiden saw it, loved it. He loves those. He loves those movies, though.
Was he up at night?
Huh?
No.
He loves those movies. Good.
I wonder if they hold clout still, because remember he like flooded the market with like a bunch of horror films, and they were good. I remember pretty much. I don't remember a bad one that he had, honestly.
Well, they were just They were like, "What book next is the next one we can flip into a movie?"
You know, like People Under the Stairs and all that stuff. And they were all like really good. I wonder if I went back and watched them now. I wonder if they'd still like hold up.
That's tough. The only one I saw, and it's very like you see. Some people are trying to mimic it now, and you see it as like a cheap copy. Like they'll go and look at a movie like that was made in the 70s, and they're like, okay, well, we want this movie to be set in the 70s in some modern day, or the 80s. 80s is real popular now, right? And then they'll,
As it should be.
yeah, well, except for the dress. I'm not going into parachute pants and netted.
Oh, come on, John!
stop
I want to see you.
Come on,
I know
man.
there's pictures out there. You have to have those pictures.
Dude, I had a business in the front and party in the back that went like down to, well, it was enough mullet for anybody.
Oh, I got to see those pictures. Dude.
I'll show you the picture. It's fantastic. But where was I? Oh, so they're looking to mimic these genres, and you can tell there's a little bit of artificialness. So there's a desire for some of that authenticity. So if you go into it and you go back to like a Christine, I read the book and saw the movie. Movie holds up.
Yeah, I never
Carrie, the movie holds up.
Carrie was him?
Yeah.
Yeah. I never
That was
seen
a good
him.
movie. I've seen it.
Cujo, it was Carrie, Cujo, and Christine. They all kind
Carrie
of
was
went
good.
back
Cujo
to back.
was good.
Yeah.
What would you say is? I mean, I'm not a huge in this genre. What would you say is his like? Is The Shining? Is it the best movie?
Oh, yeah.
is The Shining the
definitely.
best for him?
But it was a deviation from the book. Stanley Kubrick really brought that movie to life. I mean, so creepy. They had it's this old classical tune. I think it's Old Fortuna is the name of the song, but it's classical music. You see the Torrance family going up this mountainside, and it's this haunting like boom, boom, and it's just it sets the tone. And
It wasn't Jack Nicholson making the movie either.
well, Jack Nicholson. It was Stanley Kubrick and Jack. The whole movie's just awesome. But like they changed a bunch of stuff in it. Like Jack goes for the axe in the movie, right?
In the book, he didn't.
No, he uses this thing called a roque mallet, and it's a giant picture, like a giant.
It's not a sling blade.
And,
Some people call it a Kaza blade.
but it's like a giant croquet mallet. You know, the ones that you use to. It's like a giant one, and he goes to town on the innkeeper and his wife. And Stephen King describes it like Stephen King. You hear the bones crunching as the mallet slams on her shoulder blade, and you're like, "Whoa!" But yeah, I would have to say Shining. That's my favorite King movie, King-based book movie. But anyway, I digress. The other, so Jurassic World, we talked about Cloverfield, Red Sparrow, Avengers. There's, did you see the trailer for, I think it's called A Quiet Place? It's got John Krasinski and Emily Blunt in it. Nick, I know you're a big fan of Emily Blunt.
I am.
But it's a horror flick. It was a short trailer. It was interesting. If I feel like in the mood to go see a horror movie, I've what I know that's coming out this summer. It piqued my interest enough, but I'd have to see a little bit more in order to, like we said earlier, thunk down that cash.
Yeah, it's straight to video for me.
Yeah.
A lot of them are probably straight to video. The only two that aren't are obviously Solo and Infinity War.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to horror films, I mean, unless they come out with something different, like, Scream, they did it. Saw, they did it. Like Blair Witch, they did it. Like something different. But when it's like,
just your standard.
Yeah, your standard run-of-the-mill horror film. Straight to video.
What was the last horror flick that got you kind of shook up?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Maybe I guess the first Saw, I guess.
So, see, the thing about
even the second one was...
They're disturbing more than scary for me.
Yeah, okay, Blair Witch then. Scary, I would say Blair Witch. Because, the first time you say it, I don't care who you are. When you first saw that, I mean, it got you.
Yeah. All the little child handprints and the guy standing in the corner at the end. That freaked me out. But, and it's kind of an old movie, but The Strangers with Liv Tyler. If you haven't seen it, give it a go. They're actually coming out with Strangers 2. But it shook me up, man, because it was really, it's the ones that like Freddy Krueger jumping into my dreams. Yeah.
I never got into the Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, but he was funny because of the one-liners, dude.
Yeah, but
you gotta like
comedic, right?
Yeah, like if you want to go that route, like Jason never really did it for me. Like Mike Myers, Halloween and
Halloween 2 shook me up.
I always got like people always ran the wrong way, and it was just
Well, with Jason, it was like the dude just keeps coming back. And same with Freddy.
Where's the wood chipper? You know?
Yeah, seriously, burn him, do whatever. He's coming back.
Yeah, right. Just move.
Yeah.
Just run faster.
Yeah, right.
And keep running one direction. But the Strangers, Liv Tyler, and I can't remember the male lead, but it was the one where they set it up, and it's shot really well, kind of creepy. But they set it up to where this is a couple comes home and they start getting terrorized. But there's this one. And you're like, there's always like, well, why are they doing this? Why are they getting terrorized? And it's like, oh, well, because he's a psychopath, or because it's a revenge killing, or whatever it might be, whatever the motive is. The scene, and they showed in the trailer, Liv Tyler screaming at this woman who's one of the killers in the movie, who has this creepy doll face makeup or mask on, and it's like, why are you doing this? And she says in this fucked up childlike voice, goes, "'Cause you were home." And I'm like, ah! It like scared the shit out of me. And it wasn't like I was a kid either. It was a grown ass man.
It was yesterday, wasn't it?
I needed to clutch my whoopee. But anyway, Westworld coming back, HBO. Did you guys watch?
I watched a couple episodes. I didn't get into it like everybody else did.
No, I didn't get into it either.
It pays off at the end. If you haven't watched the full first season.
It's one of those ones you have to.
And our friend Emily, she watched it, and she was like, you gotta hold in, and stick in there for the end.
Because it was like, I watched like 3 or 4 episodes, and I'm like, this is okay. It's not grabbing me though. You know how like it's like Breaking Bad when he blew up the whole. You
can't compare anything.
Well, that's what I mean. 5 episodes in, Breaking Bad was like so, but then they have this one episode where he blows the whole thing up, and you're just like,
that show is ridiculous.
Chemistry teacher.
Oh, yeah, the chemistry. It just blows it all up, dude. And you're just like, I'm sucked in right there. I binged. I think me and Shannon, my wife, watched that in 3 days, 5 seasons. Yeah. It was just like I couldn't stop.
Perfect example of fresh material that they need to come out with stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that should be the goal of Breaking Bad.
But that's what John's point is. There's more of them fresh material for TV shows now. Like at Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take
Game of Thrones, which is that's probably the ultimate for me. Breaking Bad's number 3 on my list for shows. But Game of Thrones is a perfect example of this guy who wrote books. I mean, this guy had no life apparently. J.J. Martin,
J.R.R.
Martin. Sorry,
yeah.
But he developed these characters and storyline, and it's just
it's deep. It's rich,
and it's one of those shows. It's probably the only show I have ever been able to rewatch. Yeah. Like I love Breaking Bad. I probably could rewatch it someday, but I haven't done it yet. Yeah. Game of Thrones, I've rewatched already like 4 times.
Yeah.
And, it's just, and you find new details every time you rewatch it. You're like, oh my God, I didn't realize they said that before. And that makes a lot of sense now. And
they lay a lot of Easter eggs in that one.
They do.
They lay a lot of everything in that show.
What does he have, like 1,000? What did they predict? They said there was like, how many deaths? There was like 1 million.
Oh, I was in when they killed the main character, man. It's like, oh, by the way,
Ned Stark?
Fuck you if this is a spoiler.
Yeah, seriously.
Ned Stark is dead. But
I banged my hand on the table like 10 times. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah. But when that happened, I was like, you have got me hook, line, and sinker. And I don't even think it was a novelty. Like they're doing it as a gimmick. but it was like there was a show years ago called TV movie called Live and Die in L.A. I think it was called, and one of the main characters gets
That's a Tupac song.
That they had never mind. I digress. Anyway, but they one of the main characters who you think is going to be the hero of this whole movie at the end gets his fucking head blown off. Like, and I was like, you got me. That's great.
Because it has a twist that you weren't expecting, and it sucked you in.
Yes.
But that's what I'm talking about. To your point, Jamie, there's just more content, more better stuff out there on these Netflix, these HBOs.
Yeah, and nobody's arguing that. It's just they need to keep doing that. Like, let's, do whatever is good then. You know what I mean? Like, because if you're coming out with junk movies and then you keep coming out with, like, remakes of this and that, you know what I mean? Don't expect people to keep going. They're going to get sick of it sooner or later.
Yeah, and that's voting with your dollars, right? I mean, I was so interested in I was jonesing for another Star Trek series, right? So I did my $9.99 for 2 months, and
did it pay off? I didn't.
I you know what? The way I looked at it this way: I got more than a movie's worth of entertainment
for $10
for $20, right? So dollar for dollar, I would have paid the same if I went out to the movies. I would have paid more.
Was the show worth it though?
Yeah,
right there. I'm out.
Yeah. I you know what? I think they're gonna get their backs broken, and it's gonna come to prime time. I think that's what's gonna happen. That's just because I tweeted this out. It was one of those things where I was like, not crazy about paying $9.99 a month for one show. CBS, get your shit together, because I'm not interested in jack all of anything else you have to offer. You got me for this show for the season, but I'm already paying for HBO. I'm already paying for Netflix. I'm paying for all this other stuff.
Yeah, come on, Les. Let's move as cheap bastard.
I don't want to get beat to death. When everybody's talking about.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to have to sooner or later generalize that, because it is getting out of hand. Hulu, Netflix, and I'm all for like paying for content, but you're going to have to sum it up.
Well,
you know what I mean? Give me one bill. Don't give me 5.
Yeah, well, and it's the cable model, right? If people are, there was that whole cut the cord movement. It's still going on, but they're like, I watch 2 things, and here's what happens. And the music industry got boned by this too, because they didn't catch on, and they're too slow moving, and they were too stupid to realize that. Fine, you're going to make me buy CDs, and you're going to make me pay for 13 songs or 12 songs, and I buy the whole album when I want 2. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to torrent the shit out of that thing, and I'm going to download it from every illegal site from all over the place. And that's what's going to happen. It's already happening. But it's going to continue to happen.
Everybody has the Fire Sticks.
Yeah.
They're getting movies. Like my brother's like, I got this movie. I got a week after it comes out, they can get movies with good quality.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what would really concern me is if they catch on and just say, all right, well, we're gonna charge you. Well, they already do that. I'm not sure how it's going to land, honestly, but I'm not going to pay for 20 different applications in order to get one show out of each.
Well, you're not even going to pay for cable anymore. It's going to come to the point where you're just going to pay for internet and just somehow download content all the time. It's going to suck, but why would you pay for a cable bill when you really don't need half that shit anymore? Yeah.
And long story short, I enjoyed the show. I did enjoy the show. I thought it was a very high production value Star Trek, and it had some entertaining story and plot lines on it.
Sasha's in it, so that's cool.
Yeah. I'll pay her salary at least for the entertainment she provided in Walking Dead.
No, and I like the guy that got picked for the captain. What's his face?
Yeah,
I've always liked him as an actor, even though he usually plays bad guy or an asshole. But
yeah, I mean, there's some really cool sci-fi nuggets in there, man. If you want to get your geek on with that, so it's worth it. But I don't know, it's not worth $20 for me.
No, I mean that's why I didn't do it. You kept telling me it's not worth it, so I'm a huge Star Trek fan, but I just couldn't bring myself to pay the money.
Hey, so what did you think when you saw the Dink on the Doritos commercial? Peter Dinklage.
Oh, I loved it, dude. I loved it. It was a Pepsi thing too, so I already saw it before. But
Oh, you did?
yeah, because we did. It was Fire and Ice
Yeah.
because they did both of them back to back.
That's right. They both.
The
Pepsi
Mountain Dew Ice.
Yeah, and Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. And I thought it was really well done.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think it was like awesome, but I thought it was better than some of the commercials we had in the past.
Yeah, they really need to step the commercial game up, man. It's been slacking.
Yeah, it was kind of weak.
It's like weak.
Yeah.
And
Usually there's like one or two. You're like, wow, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Or it's funny.
They're spending like $5 million for like 30 seconds. You think they would do something more? It's a waste of money in my mind.
The Sprint one was terrible.
Yeah.
They're like
The one with the AI.
Yeah. Ugh, that was terrible. So
I saw
part of
that
my
one.
job, I'm doing AI and machine learning, right? And so it's like watching a 911 show and you being a police officer. Like, you're going to look at that show and be like, oh my God, there's so much bullshit in this show. It's just not realistic. So I'm watching this commercial and I'm like, this is terrible. It's just bad.
What about the Alexa one, Echo? I didn't like that one.
That
either.
one wasn't great either.
I didn't like that one either. It's like, all right, we got a backup plan for her because they lost Alexa's voice or something like that. I'm like,
Yeah, Bezos, he's got too much money now. He's
and he was in his own commercial. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, stick to perfecting the drones, dude.
The only thing that was good about that commercial was Anthony Hopkins.
Yes, I love it.
He's feeding a peacock what's it called, cheese curls.
Yeah.
That was cool.
He's Anthony Hopkins.
Sure.
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love that guy?
I'm just hoping he's not a...
He's the reason why I
not
started
another Me
watching
Too guy.
Westworld.
Yeah, he was the one that allegedly, like, he would have like women come to his
Oh, really?
trailer or whatever, and he was a little touchy feely.
I mean, you know what? I mean, I don't know. I'm not getting into that whole. We're not doing that.
Nah, we don't need to.
Nah.
Anything else stand out as far as commercials? Nothing I could think of. I think we covered just about everything.
The Giants commercial with the whole like.
So I'm not even going to make a face. What did you guys think?
It was okay.
It was just straight up NFL commercial with
Yeah.
Eli and Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
Right?
They made an effort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How many takes do you think it took?
Probably a lot.
Isn't that crazy? You could be so athletically inclined and not have a dancing bone in your body. Eli looked like he was counting steps the whole time.
Yeah, I mean,
that was they ranked commercials and they gave that the best one. But I just. Like you said, they need to step up their game, man. I remember growing up watching the Budweiser commercials. They were always hilarious. And then sometimes they would come out with a good Doritos commercial.
yeah, Doritos commercials are good.
Remember when they had the hot chick and she would get the laundromat and she did the split and I forget who that
Yeah, it was the
supermodel
3D Doritos.
Yeah, I forget who
Well,
that
there was a
supermodel
theme.
was.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watched the theme was, like, let's all come together, let's
Yeah.
all hug, and then there's a lot of inspiring ones.
Yeah, well, so let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Did you think... So they had Martin Luther King
I didn't see that one.
throwing down, just...
That was weird, man. Like,
But then it was like, ran.
yeah, it's like, yeah, here's Martin Luther King,
It cheapens the
Yeah,
message.
it does. It's like, yeah, here's Martin Luther King. It's Black History Month. Yeah, he's going to sell you a Dodge Ram.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Where do we make a left turn? He's selling Dodge Rams.
Well, and I just thought it was tacky and tasteless.
Yeah.
Man. It just
Well, it
terrible.
didn't get me. I apparently got a bunch of people mad. It didn't get me mad. I thought it was weird. Like, it was like a.
Well, not
I could
as,
see where that would offend somebody. People are so sensitive anymore about these things.
well,
So-
not as weird, and I think I was being a little oversensitive because my reaction, there's controversy with my reaction over the weirdness of having a hologram of Prince in the halftime show.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, and it wasn't even a good one. It was like a sheet.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. So it's like, 7th grade Prince.
Minneapolis. I know.
That makes sense, do a little homage to him.
I
get it.
that, man, but it's like, first of all, he put on one of the best halftime shows ever when he did halftime.
Prince is the man, dude.
Oh,
Yo,
God.
The Batman soundtrack was probably my favorite thing he ever did.
Really?
That fucking album was legit, dude. The part where Jack Nicholson's walking through the art museum.
Yeah, Prince. They say that Prince has enough material to go on for like another 20 years.
You heard the
Really?
story about that
Yeah.
Tim Burton album. Like they went to Prince and they're like, "Hey man, we want you to do a song for our album." And he's like, "I don't know." And he came back and just slapped it down. And he's like, "Here's your album."
Really?
Yeah, he watched a movie and made the album to the movie.
Dude, they say there's like vaults of his stuff. Like he's got just
Yeah, but see, there you're dabbling in like a tough area because
That's
if it's in his vault, does it mean he necessarily wants it out there?
Oh, like when they keep digging up old
Exactly.
Tupac.
No, well, Tupac's one example, but like
He died 10 years ago. How's he still putting out
yeah,
records?
but Jimi Hendrix was another one. It's like he had a bunch of stuff that he obviously didn't think was good, and that's probably the reason it's in the vault.
But now it's
So
all about
why-
money.
So why dig up his hologram
Money.
on it?
Money.
I know, but it's like they have all the money, right? So why dig up his hologram to put it on that halftime show? And that's just
I think
don't know.
that's different, though. I think that's just playing, like he like Nick was saying, was paying homage to him. I mean,
Yeah, but it's a shitty copy, man.
I
It's
agree.
back to what you said about
isn't he? Well, he was against that type of stuff too, wasn't he? He was against like holograms and stuff like that.
Yeah, all technology, actually. He didn't
Well,
like it.
I think he actually said something specifically about like holograms and how it's like tacky. And
Maybe.
and he's was it like a Jehovah's Witness? So it was like,
Was he a Jehovah's Witness?
yeah,
Okay.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Prince, man. He's a shit, dude. And a grade A cocksmith. Like, grade A. You can talk shit about him walking
Dude,
around wearing blouses and boots and
Like
stuff like that.
5 foot nothing too.
Yeah,
And
dude.
Still pulling in.
Yeah. Pulling in primo.
Apollonia.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to get better than that, folks. I think we covered just about every, if not every commercial, at least all the ones that we were interested in. So thank you all for joining us for this week's edition of the Nick, John, and Jamie Show. You can find us on our usual channels at Twitter at NJJ Show. Facebook, just take a search for the Nick, John, and Jamie Show. And we're on Instagram. Content coming. Thanks again, folks. Have a geektastic week, and we'll see you next week.